Hi there. Fly I'm going to tie for you today is a small quill body mayfly. I saw some videos of guys that were using these out east in the Catskills and Adirondacks and stuff, and I thought, wow, this is something different, but I'd never seen anybody fish it here in the West. So I tied up a couple and took them out, and they worked awesome when the blue wing olives were hatching. So I've tied up a bunch more, and yeah, they're just a great all-around fly when the small mayflies are out. So what we got is a size 16 dry fly hook in the vise, and I usually tie these with 70 denier olive thread. So we'll get that started on there. Once we got a good body of thread laid down, bring it back to about the 3/4 point on the hook, and we're going to tie on our wing. And I just use Antron for that. Sometimes I use like the classic Adams style with you know, the Hackle tips and stuff, but I find that those aren't quite as durable, so I don't use them as often. Plus they're a pain in the neck. I find these tie a lot faster. All right, so we don't need a whole heck of a lot of Antron, just a bit here to tie in, and we only want the wings to be about the length of the hook shank, so something like that. First wrap should just be loose to just kind of hold them on the hook shank. Whoop, that slipped forward on me a little bit. Get a better grip here. Get a grip. Reason I want that first wrap to be loose is otherwise it tends to rotate and then turns over and it's not balanced well. All right, so once I've got it a ways back, then I trim those off with a decent taper and secure it down. And again, you want to have a good taper here. There is a little bit of bulk, obviously, with that Antron. So we try and establish a good taper, because when we're putting the quill on, the quill is fussy, and if we've got anything kind of out of whack, we're going to have problems with the quill. All right, so then we're going to put a thread dam in front here to get that Antron to stand up. Okay, once that's standing up, then I split it in half, or as close to half as you can manage, because that helps to balance the fly. So that looks pretty close. I'm going to give one kind of figure-8 wrap to get everything sitting on the right side. And then I post the wings. Not everybody posts the wings, but I like to. I just find it keeps them together a little bit better, and later on, if I want to, I can kind of bend them around a little bit more. So yeah, the posting process takes a little bit longer, but you know, all flies are a labor of love, so well, I guess unless you're tying professionally, then they're not, but for guys like me, they are. So once they're posted, like I say, you can bend them a little bit more easily and get them out of the way when you're putting your hackle on and stuff like that. So, all right, so now I'll return the thread to the back, and at this point we want to put in our tail material, and I always use horsetail for that. And some guys use micro Fibbets. I use what I have. I don't have any micro Fibbets, so I use this piece of horsetail here. It's got nice bend in it, and I find that bend really works well for getting the tail forks to sit the right way. So I just kind of grab it so that the bend is going the way I want, and tie it on. Gotta watch the thread torque. Thread torque wants to move it around probably more than I want it to. Okay, so that's one tail. I want those tails to be about the length of the hook shank again. Okay, and one on the other side. Okay, those also help to build up that taper a little bit too, because you're tying one more thing on the back. Sometimes if I find they're trying to get a little out of whack on me, I'll put a thread wrap between them, and that really makes them fork. All right, so now, see here, we got two nicely forked tails on there. And that horse tail hair is really stiff, which works out also really, really well. All right, now for the kind of magic ingredient. It's stripped peacock quill. These are actually from a peacock eye, but what I've done is chemically strip them. I soak them in like a bleach solution, and for a little while shake them up while they're in there, and then pour off the bleach and put in some baking soda and water to neutralize the bleach. And when you're done, if you do it right, you've got still fairly pliable quills, all stripped of the green stuff. You can use a pencil eraser, you know, and rub them on, but you're stripping one quill at a time. It takes a long time. I've got bags and bags of stripped quills, because well, you can do them quickly, and if you find the right place, peacock is not expensive. All right, so you got to select one that looks like it's fairly strong and about the right width. Okay, so I've selected this one here, and you don't obviously want to tie in the very tip, because the very tip is really, really brittle. If you've ever done anything with peacock, you know that. All right, I may even be flirting with it a little bit here in terms of how much I've cut off. Having a little trouble with the thread torque here. There we go. Okay, once you have that tied on, peacock quill is not a durable material. So what I like to do is I like to put on a little bit of clear cure UV goo. Again, just a really small amount, but the nice thing about this UV stuff is that it doesn't cure and harden until you zap it with the light. So I put a little bit on there, and then I spread it around with my bodkin, and that's going to cement that quill on there when I'm done. And that helps it survive catching more than one fish. The first few I tied, it didn't do that, and they were good for one, maybe two fish before they were busted, and the quill was just hanging off. So once you've got that ready, you can use hackle pliers or not. The benefit obviously is control. The drawback is weight. Hackle pliers are heavy, and peacock quill is delicate. So good progress here. And there you go. That's what's going to happen to you. And then you're going to be moving right back to the beginning again. I'm not going to start as far down. Give myself a better chance by using more of the thicker part here. Be careful, it's really getting a nice segmentation. That's the nice thing about the quill, is it gives you this really realistic color and segmentation. Looks like a real bug, or at least it does to me, and obviously it does to the fish I've caught on it. So I'm just going to say it looks like real segmentation, really natural looking in terms of color. All right, getting close here. Okay. Okay, well, before I have another problem, I'm going to tie that down. All right. Now, this is another thing I learned, of course, the hard way. Always make sure you pull your materials away from your thread, or you're going to cut your thread. And that's really frustrating when you watch that bobbin fall to the ground and knowing you're nowhere near done yet. There you go. Got that piece. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to give it a shot here with the torch and cure that UV goo. Right, and you can see here that that gives that really nice appearance of segmentation. All right, so now we got to put the hackle on, and this is size 16, so I need my small hackle, and I use two different hackles. I use a kind of a greenish olive as well as a grizzly. So make sure you don't crowd the eye with these. There, I finally got a set that were about the right length. All right, so once you got that ready, obviously with the short hackle, you need the hackle pliers. All right, a couple of wraps here. Okay, and at this point I'm going to give around here just a little bit of a trim because I've crowded the eye with a few hackle barbs here. It's obviously not ideal, but it happens. Okay, and we're ready to whip finish now. And luckily I've not crowded the eye too much, and I can actually get a whip finish in here. Sometimes you have to half hitch on the really small ones, like on a size 18 or a size 20. Okay. All right, and give her a little drop of head cement. All right, there we have her. She should be good to go now. Got a nice small quill body mayfly. Got one little errant fiber here I'm gonna have to cut off, but I think that was actually the quill that I broke off the first time. So there you have it. Little quill body mayfly. Hope it works for you like it's worked for me. Thanks for watching.